Well, hello everyone. This is an unexpected treat for us all, I'm sure. I can hear it playing in the background because Miss P's forgotten to put her headphones on. Let me just find myself on here and then I can see what's going on. There we go. Oh yeah. Hi again. Right, this is my attempt at the take 5 from the 9th of February. There we go, I'm only a month behind. Ignoring the ones that I've missed before February, of course, because I'm actually about 12 behind. But here we go. This is what we've got today. We've got take 5, paper from a pad, paint, brad, butterfly, fabric. Sounds simple enough, doesn't it? So after much edge scratching, this is what we're going to do. I've dug out some paints, these Deco Art Americana paints. They're just acrylics that come in small pots. I think they may have been taken over by plaid these days. But yes, Deco Art Americano paints. They're just acrylic paints. You can use any paint whatsoever that you like. I just happen to have those, so I'm going to use those. I've got the 4 colours. That one there is light buttermilk, which is going to substitute as a white for me. It's a bit off white because I don't want it too white. I've got a pansy lavender. I've got a deep periwinkle. As you can see, there's probably going to be a flowery theme going on here somewhere. And arbor green. So maybe it's a tree. Who's to know? And the first thing I'm going to do is paint some flowers. Ooh! The other items that I need are paper from a pad. This piece pulled out of a pad. It's purple, a bit glittery. That's just a piece of paper that I'm going to use to accompany it. And the first thing I'm going to do is choose my paper that I'm going to paint on. I'm going to use black card. There we go, black card. I'm a fan of black. I like black. I like the way that it shows things up. So that's why we're using it, because I want to. So I'm going to make one which is about half of A4. So that'd be A5, or that would be half of US letter size, whatever you would call half of letter size. I don't know, a let or a tur. So what I need to do is get a ruler and chop that in half. Let me take my glasses off and then I can probably see a little better. A bigger ruler than that.
Do you want a longer ruler?
I've got a longer ruler, thank you. Okay. So it's 11 3/4. So if we said 5 and just under 6 will do. Just chop that off.
Your cutter's at the front of the desk.
Yep, thank you. There we go. It's just roughly in half. Doesn't have to be exact. And then we're going to begin to paint. Now, many people say that they can't paint, and that's just tosh, poppycock, piffle. Everybody can paint. That's paint. It's in a pot. The art of painting is to take it out of the pot and put it on something. Simple as that. It's not complicated. Well, I think it's not complicated, of course. I mean, depend on your results you require. I mean, obviously, the first time you paint, you're probably not going to be Picasso or Rubens or Monet. But there's also other people that weren't Rubens, Picasso, Monet when they started out. And that was Rubens, Monet, Picasso. Because everybody's got to learn. Nobody is born being able to paint like a superstar. Nobody. The two things that you need if you're going to paint or do anything in life really, it is a desire to learn and a willingness to practice. If you've got those two things, you can achieve anything whatsoever. A desire to learn and a willingness to practice. If you were to take a month out and paint a flower every day for a month, by the end of that month you'll be able to paint flowers. Simple as that. Right, so the first thing you generally need when you're painting is a brush. I've got two brushes here. I may or may not use both of them. One is a 1/2 inch flat, because you can see it's flat on the end. And that is a number 10 round, because it's round on the end. So the first thing we're going to do is paint some stems, some stemmage. So we'll get the thing, get a pallety painty, it's a paper plate, so we can dispose of it easily. And we're going to make it out of the arbor green. I'm going to use one green, but I'm going to put out some of the light buttermilk as a white, so I can get some different tones. Don't need too much. Is there anybody out there, do you know, Miss P?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, they've turned up in the droves. The way I look at it, there's two ways that we inspire people to get crafting. You've got Miss P, and you look at her videos and what she does and you think, oh, I'd love to be able to do that one day. I'm going to give it a go. And then you get mine, where you look at it and you think, God, if he can do it, anybody can. I'm going to give it a go. But either way, we should inspire you to get going. It's a windy day here. You might be able to hear the fire roaring in the background. It's warm, but it's not too cold. We are into spring now. Not that you would know it, but we are. So if you hear a whistling and a tooting in the background, it's not Miss P falling to sleep, it's the fire. Right, so now to do stems, basically you need to do some straight lines, really, that's it. Now you could take your small round brush, get some paint on it, and freehand it if you were feeling confident. Or there's a little cheats way of putting some straight lines, and it's to get a little bit of card. It doesn't have to be particularly thick, we're not going to put any pressure on it, and you can put that down on the paper, load your 1/2 inch brush with some paint, and paint mostly on the card but leaving a small trail on the black, and we'll give that a go. Just get some of the green on the brush, load up the brush, tap it down, and then what we'll do is I'll put a few marks using this pen just to give me an idea where we're going to be going. We're going to go probably from there-ish and up those general direction, upwards in that kind of direction, and then coming through to the other side with them crossing over. That's it. That's it. Oh, that's me finished my stems. No, I'm only joking. So we put the card down, put it down to where we want to start, where we want to go, passing through the point where they're going to cross over, and just paint a line. Just coming off the card and just touching on there. And there we go. That's the first one. Now we do the same again. Put one over there. Doesn't matter how wide or small or thin or at this point. There we go. That's another one. And it's basically just to give the impression of some stems. We're not making a great work of art here. We're just getting some paint down on a piece of black card. We can put some more in, I think. It doesn't even have to relate to the number of flowers that we put on the top. It's just to give us a general idea that there's some stems going on. And then we can do that. And there we go, that's got some stems down. Now what we can do is pick up a little bit of the white, into the green, so we've got a lighter colour. And then we can go in again along the same sort of lines and just put a few highlights in down the side, just to bring it to life a little. There we go, that's lovely. You can do a bit of freehand if you wish. There we go. Now we're going to get some more of that whitey green, and we're just going to attack it as if we were doing some leafage. So what we're going to do is squash the end of the brush down into it and then lift it up off and away, and we should get some sort of what could be mistaken for leaves.
Oh, you've been listening?
She says, ooh, I've been listening. I always listen. It's amazing what sinks in. There we go, and you just squash the brush down, lift it away. It doesn't matter how big, this small, or they are. And that's it. That's our stems done. I'll just pop that brush into some water. See, we didn't need anywhere near all that paint. But, you know. There we go. And that's finished with the brush. And it's probably finished with the round one as well. So you think, if I've finished with the brushes, what am I going to do the flowers with? Well, we're going to use cotton buds. We're going to get a few out. Do 5, 6, say 7. Let's go for a nice odd number. I'm going to get 7 of those out, and what we're going to do is attach them together. So we've got the 7 there. We're going to put them roughly at the right length, and we're just going to tie them together so that we've got a nice bunch for poking. Poking. See, there's nothing difficult, is it? This is not complicated painting. It's something that I would think that most people could probably do, and you don't even really need a brush, because you could have painted the stems with a cotton bud as well if you were feeling adventurous. There we go, that's sort of fastened together, sort of arrange them in a random pattern, and then tap them down on the desk so that they all end up with a relatively flat top, i.e. they're all the same length. Then what we need to do is get some paint, and we'll go for the darker one of the two, which is the Pansy Lavender, and we'll get some of that out, give it a quick shake, pop some on the plate, get rid of that green round to the other side. Then we might make use of that white that we've got there. Pop a bit of that down. There we go. And we're going to pop some of the deep periwinkle. And we're going to put some more white a bit nearer. I think there's no point in chasing it around. It says if it's going to come out. Shake it to the bottom. There we go. So what we're going to do is, with acrylics, generally start with the dark and then build up to the light. So we're going to start with that dark, and we're just going to pick up the paint on the end and then tap it out. Tap it out, so we don't want too much paint. And then what we're going to do is probably think about maybe 3 flowery type things of no particular genus. And we're just going to start going at it, and we're just going to yeah, it even comes with sound effects. And we're going to do that again, get a bit more paint down, make sort of a conical type shape, and there we go. And then we're going to do it again, same again. I'm going to put on this one, but make it go slightly back, so it's going to be behind that one, so we'll come round and go up and make it appear like it's behind that. It's not a particularly botanical representation. It's no particular flower in mind, but you know, it's coming along as a flowery shape doings. Let's put a bit more paint on that middle one. The secret here is at this point is not to overwork it, but I do want sufficient paint because it's going to dry a bit lighter.
Yeah, people can't decide if it's lilac or a buddleia.
It could be muscari, I suppose, as well.
A bit big for mascara.
Yeah, you're probably right. And also what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to get that little round brush because it just needs, I'm going to create just one more little stem coming up there, just about there, I think, just because that one looks a little lost over there. And again, give it the old leafage. Bit of leafage. There we go. That's connected it back on a bit better, I think.
Mr. F, could you just tell us the colours again, please?
Yep, certainly. The one that we're putting on first, the slightly darker one, is a pansy lavender. This one is a deep periwinkle. The green that we used was a arbor green, a tree green, and that's a light buttermilk, just because it's off white, so I don't want too much white. Now I'm going to carry on using the same end, there's no need to change it, and we're going to pick up some of that deep periwinkle. And again, tap it out, and then we're going to start coming into that. Pretty much all over it, but probably slightly more on the left side as I look at it. And again on that one. Tap it out, tap it on. The secret really is not to think about it for too long, because it's very easy to overthink some things. And if you, as well as tapping straight down, you can angle it slightly, so you use 2 or 3 of them rather than the entire 7. So if you wanted to put a sort of a line down that side without being too much, you can do that. And I'm going to pick up some white, take some white into that periwinkle, get sort of a nice mid-tone. Tap it off, and then start putting some just more gentle highlights down one side, just as if the light is coming in from the left. There we go. I think that's probably a good place to stop without getting carried away. You can see that from there. That's basically what they look like. And they're sufficient, I think, for our needs. What do you think, Miss P?
I think they're very, very nice. I'm very impressed. That light colour will die back a bit.
It will die back, definitely. Definitely. It won't be as white as it looks on that page. It will definitely die back into that. I'm just going to put a few more down that side. Just give that a bit more better shape.
Yeah, that's good.
Just give that a bit more better shape.
Not much.
Not much, she says. It's very difficult for Miss P during these, you know, because she really wants to leap in. It's like when you're teaching your kids to ride a bike or go swimming, you know, the parents want to dive in and rescue them all the time. But luckily I've bungeed her down on the sofa so she can't move. So there we go. I think that's reasonable. I think that's a reasonable effort for a non-artist like myself. I said everybody could paint, I didn't say everybody could be an artist. So the next thing we're going to do is we need to turn that in, and we need to look at our little thing again. So that's paint. Let me get a nice pen. Tick off paint. Yay! Right. The next thing I'm going to do is look at the fabric aspect. Now that's a very nice bunch of flowers. So what I'm going to do is wrap them like a florist may do. And what I intend using for that is some of this fabric, which is like an organza. Probably is floristy type stuff. I think they call it spider web or something like that, for wrapping the flowers in. And we're going to cut a piece out and put it around the flowers like so. Now what I could do is I could glue that on, or I could use double-sided tape, but what I'd prefer to do is not have a visible join. So what we're going to do there is I'm going to decide where I want it to go to, and I want most of the flowers sticking out the top, and I'd like some of that foliage, so I would say between about there and there is probably where I want it to be. So what I'm going to do is draw a little line. This pen, by the way, is a sew line one. It's a marking on fabric for when you're quilting. Just happen to have it to hand. And then it's going to come up around to about there. And then we're going to match that by the other side and bring it up around about there. I think that's a reasonable. Can you see them lines? They're probably a little faint for you, but you can see that I've drawn a little line basically where I want the organza to go, like the flowers are wrapped. So, as I say, I could glue that on, or I could double-side tape it, but what I want to do is make it an invisible means of attachment. So what I'm going to do is I've got a small cutter. All of you are familiar with the rotary cutters by now, which are usually that size, which is a 45mm. They also come in a 28mm, which is just over an inch and an eighth, I think, something like that. And I use this one when I'm cutting through paper if I want to maneuver it, because it maneuvers easier being the smaller size wheel than it does the large one. The large one is very difficult to go around corners unless it's wandering off by itself, in which case it's easy done. But if you're steering it, steering with a smaller blade is easier than trying to steer with a large blade. So what I'm going to do is just to put that down on the card, not starting from the edge. I'm just cutting through the card where we've marked the line. So I'm going to put it on top, work it backwards and forwards so it cuts in, and then just steer it around the line and up to there and to about there. And now you'll see that that's cut through. You see that? It's cut through, and we're going to mirror that on the other side. I'm going to steer around the corner and up and round and to about there. So now we have the two slots in the card that we can cut some organza. Let's find a nice bit. That's a bit there. It's just slightly bigger than the size because I do want it to pucker up slightly. Scissors, scissors, scissors. There we go. Right, where's the bottom of that there? So I'm going to just cut across. Make it a bit wider than it needs to be because it's got to go through to the back. See, now you see when that's drying, you can see how that white light colour has really just faded into the back. So then we've got that. So then what we're going to do is to feed one side, decide which side we want to be the top. And that's probably the nicer bit, but maybe it's, yeah, that way I think. Just going to feed that through the slot one side. And feed it through the slot the other side. curling up. Come on, you little devil. That's it. And there we can see now. You see that? You see the organza? And still see the stems and things through it, and popping out the bottom. And obviously, when that's been backed in coffee stain paper or whatever card you choose to use, then of course you won't see that at all. You won't see there's any visible join. So what I might do is just put a little bit of double-sided down there just to fasten that down, and then I can trim it off and it won't annoy me any longer. So let me get some double-sided. There we go. Let's put it down there. Trim it off there. Come up there. Trim it off there. Bit to the top. Bit there. There we go. Easy peasy. I'm going to make use of this lovely bone folder, which is a Teflon coated jobby.
Yeah, from Fancy.
That came from Fancy Nancy. I don't know whether she's on or not, but it's a really nice bone folder. It's made of Teflon, and it just, you just want to hold it. It really is.
It's divine. It's
divine. It's the most pleasant in my hand bone folder I said, that I've ever had. It's really, well, I say I've ever had, of course it doesn't belong to me, it belongs to Miss P really, but you know, we share.
Lorna says, well, hello, Mr. Sexy.
Hello.
Everybody's already commented on how much younger you look.
Oh, that's good. Now I only look 103.
Jean didn't even notice, like.
No, well, I can't say the blame. I mean, let's face it, nobody tunes in to look at me. Even I wouldn't tune in to look at me. Right, so anyway, that's a bit of double-sided on there. We're just going to fold it over. Doesn't have to be anything measured or whatever. Just pop it round there. And then that should allow us. Yeah, see, look, when that's that way, it'll look lovely. And then Miss P's laughing again.
I'm laughing at Jean saying she's older than dirt.
Jean's older than dirt, apparently. I'm not entirely sure how old dirt is. Not as old as rocks. Maybe it should be a new thing, you know, not rock, paper, scissors, but rock, dirt and whatever else.
Gravel you could have in the middle.
Gravel, you could have gravel in the middle, indeed. I mean, metamorphic rock's probably older than sedimentary, but not as old. And then you got igneous in the middle. There we go. There's one for the geologists amongst us. There we go. And while we're on the lovely subject of the Teflon bone folder that came from the lovely Fancy Nancy, she also sent me some Colorado toffee, almond Colorado toffee, and it's wonderful. It's really, really nice. Very pleasant change, and different from what we would class as toffee, but lovely nonetheless. There we go. How's that looking? What do you think? You see, look, what do you think? Do you think that looks like a bunch of flowers that have been wrapped in some organza? I do. I think I do anyway. Right, so what we're going to do next is, obviously, with a bunch of flowers, what else have we got on my list? I think I can probably tick off fabric now. I think let's use that. Paper brad butterfly, lovely. But what we're going to do is, you wouldn't just wrap it around like that, you'd need something to tie it. So what I'm going to use is some of this. You've seen it on many occasions. Miss P uses a lot. Is some gold braid. You can see it was 50p from a charity shop, and it's 50 meters, so it's going to last a while. So, being as we
and you got 3.
And I got 3, yeah, so they're all 50p. So actually it's going to last us 3 times a long time. Right, so I'm going to cut off plenty, because there's no point in struggling to tie a bow. We know how difficult that can be on camera. And we're going to, I think, probably just poke a hole. I think is probably the way forward. Let me just find a little pokey tool. There we go. And a little yoga mat. And I'm just going to poke a little hole through just either side of where it's pinched in. 1 hole, 2 hole. Come back. And then we're going to try and poke that through, which might be easier said than done, but we're going to try. Come on, stop being silly. Going to go through one way or the other. I'm determined. Maybe I should poke a bigger hole. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe that's the secret to my woes. I didn't think big enough. It's going to come through. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. I'm going to poke a bigger hole. It went through the braid, but the braid started to split, so it's just being awkward. I'm going to go big. Don't be shy with your hole poking. Right, this time, hopefully, we should be able to just poke it through. There we go. Trying to be too precise. Too neat and tidy. There we go. And just going to tie a couple of knots on that just to lock it off. I don't want it necessarily particularly tight. I don't want it pulling on the paper. But
you've got 34 people watching you.
34. There we go. That's tied that off. And the other thing that we had on the list was a butterfly. So at this point I might as well attach a butterfly charm. There we go. This little butterfly charm. I don't think you can see that very clearly, but it's a little butterfly and it's a charm. So we might as well attach it to this at the same time.
It's charming.
It's charming. It's a charming little charm. There we go. And we'll just tie that off with another little knot. There we go. And it's going to be determined to spin around the other way in it now. It's going to be annoy me forever. Well, until I put it right. There we go. And we'll just tie a little bow. Yes, they're going to be determined that butterfly to spin up the other way, but hey-ho. You get the drift.
Take it off, put it on right.
I'm not taking it off. No. If I put it back on, it'll go around the wrong way again. We'll spin it round, it'll be alright, be alright. We'll get it to go one way or the other. There we go. You know what that needs? A little bit of glue. There we go. That's double-sided, and now stick into my yoga mat, just to be even more awkward. Yeah, that butterfly is really going to annoy me, so it's going to have to get tied on again. You think of all the ways it could choose to live its life. You think it could give it a go the right way, couldn't you? You would think that. But no, it has to choose the opposite way to what would be convenient. Come on. Stop messing. Right. Stay where you are.
Totally awkward.
It's just being totally awkward. Like there's no need for it to be awkward, but it's decided to be awkward.
Now you've got to tie a bow with the little things.
Yeah. But you know. Nobody said doing lives was easy, did they? Oh, I'm not going to be able to tie a bow with that now. Not with my big chunky fingers. You wouldn't think that something so simple could be so traumatic, would you? It's just not going to tie. Let's just tie it like that and be done. Otherwise we're going to be here all day doing a bow tying demonstration that doesn't work. There we go. That will do. That will do. It's kind of the right way. It's not really a bow, but it'll do. Because otherwise you'll be all turning off and going to do something more interesting. Right, so let's class that as a butterfly. So, brad and paper from a pad. So we're going to put that to one side now. And we're going to bring in some paper. Paper. Right, the purple is from a pad. That has been printed off. I'm not entirely sure where the image is from.
I think it's a journal boat.
I think it's the journal boat. Not 100% sure, but I think it's the journal boat that's come from. So what we're going to do is create, because we've made a nice bunch of flowers that we've wrapped up by the florist who obviously couldn't tie a bow and obviously had two left hands. But normally they would come with a card. So what we're going to do is make a little card for the side there so that we can give it to somebody. And that's what we're going to attempt to do. So what we're going to do is make a little card. But first of all, we need to make the message inside. So what I'm going to do is get the typewriter. You might find this a little noisy, but I'm going to actually get the typewriter out and type a little message. Ooh, there we go. This typewriter is, you can see there, it says Imperial Good Companion, and it was made in about 1962. So it's as old as me. And then what we're going to do is, where did my bit of paper go? Load it up. Load it up. Where do you want to be? That way. Let's get in the right place, load it up, wind it on. Lovely. Should put that side of that, that should go that side of that. Drop that back down. Wind it through, line it up. Lovely, lovely. Great when things work. Go across a bit. And then we're going to type a message. What shall we put? I don't know whether you can see the keys there or not, but you know, probably FROMASECRET from a secret. Myra. There we go. You can see that now. It says from a secret admirer, kiss, kiss, kiss. Two reasons for that. One, I don't have to decide who I'm sending it to yet. And secondly, it gives me plausible deniability. yeah, that was a lot of effort just for that, but you know, it adds a certain something. So right, let me bring the card back and then I'll have a quick measure up and see what size I think would be appropriate. Ruler, I don't like that one. That one will do. I think it's probably, I would think maybe 1.5 inches by 2.5 would probably fit nicely there. 1.5 inches by 2.5. So, yeah, that's not bad there. 1.5 inches. Put that on 3/4. Just trim that off. Two and a half by 1.5 inches. I think that'll probably suffice there. It's not the sharpest one, this small one, because I've been using it for so many things that aren't paper. There we go. There's the little card now, and then what we're going to do is just chop the corners off, probably just with some scissors, make it into more like a little tag. Sort that around, flip it off. Pointy tag. There we go. And what we're going to do is create the other side of it exactly the same, that matches that. So what I'll do is I'll just use the pen, use the Frixion. There we go. Those, make a bit more room, get those, and there we go. That's sort of that's going to go on top of that like that. And what we're going to do is, because on our list we have a brad, so that's paper from the pad, we have a brad, so we're going to put a hole in there so that swings out the way and reveals the message like that.
Could you do a close-up of the typewriter before you go?
A close-up of the typewriter?
Yeah.
Yep, I'll do that, but I'll do it later.
It's just Laura wants to see what colour it is.
Ah, right. Yeah, I'll have to zoom out a little so you can sort of get it all on. So what we need is the infamous crocodile. And we could have a look through the brads, see if anything leaps out at me as being appropriate for use. There we go. I want a sort of a purpley one. I'm guessing there's a star, which isn't really what I'm looking for. There's just a plain round one. There's a little purple heart. Yeah, I suppose that's probably... So, there's your two choices, ladies. You either have a purple heart or the little lighter purple lavender type flowery. What do you reckon? Which one? Which one are you going to go for?
I think purple hearts mean something else in America. They're a drug, aren't they?
No. It's for wounded veterans, isn't it? If you get wounded in combat, you get a purple heart, don't you?
Oh, is that right? Just Steve Earle sings a song about purple hearts, so he's moving a little slow.
Ah, probably wounded, you see. I'll use the purple flower. That's what I'll do. And because we want these to rotate, I'm going to punch a hole so that the legs of the brad rotate freely. If you push them through, it makes kind of a slot, which holds it together, but it doesn't rotate so freely. So I'm just going to punch a hole, probably just the smaller of the two on the crocodile. Just going to line my two tags up together, put it in.
Everybody wanted the heart.
They want the heart. Well, they can have the heart.
Yeah.
I'm not mean. There we go. Right, purple heart it is. A purple heart. There we go. Don't say we don't pander to the audience. Ooh, all right, now what we need to do is bring that back, and of course we're going to need an appropriate hole in that too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that one on the message pot, and then put that over the top so it swings around like yay. And then what we can do is once we've glued that down, we'll put the hole through, and then we'll be all hunky-dory lined up and everything. So let's find a little bit of glue. First time we used glue today. I mean, this is good, isn't it? Alive with no glue. Lordy. It's like Laurel without Hardy. I think this one is just some Aleen's tacky, because I can't see the colour anywhere. So hopefully this is going to come out. Ooh, yep, it's coming out. Get sound effects as well, you know. There we go. So,
Do you need to put no, red goes in last?
Yep. There we go. Let's get one of Miss P's infamous dry wet wipes. What most people might call a wipe, but you know, we call it a dry wet wipe because it tells you what it was in its former life. It was formerly a wet wipe, it's now a dry wipe, and they're perfect for removing glue. Particularly if you're using the black card, you don't want any glue marks anywhere because it just wouldn't look very attractive. So that's that glued down on there, and we're going to bring the crocodile back now and just pop the hole through in the right place. There we go. Now we can bring the top cover back in, line up perfectly, pop the purple heart through. Put the purple out there. Open up its legs. Don't worry, I'm not getting the whack out. No need to cover your ears. There we go. Just bend them over. Just use his fingers to squash it down. We don't want to hit it with a whack because we want to be able to spin those round. So as you see now, that nicely whips round. Ooh, who's that from? Ooh, a secret admirer. Ooh, who's that from? A secret admirer. And I think we're pretty much come in now. Obviously, the last thing I could do, if we really wanted to. Oh, almost there. My watch is telling me it's about time I stood up. I've been sitting for too long. What you would do is to back on the back, put some coffee stain paper or some other paper, or if you were to turn it into a floating pocket, you put some over and then come back over. I don't think you need necessarily to see me do that. And in which case then I would say that pretty much, where's my list? is the last one is Brad. And there we go. Now what I was going to do, actually, thinking about it, I might do it now because I can still do it, is get one of the punches out of the punchy. Excuse me, while I stand up and try and find the right punch. Could be anywhere.
Is it in? If it's not in there, it'll be in your little drawer.
Might be in the little drawer. Excuse me, wandering around.
Because I use it so much, it's been promoted.
Ah, can't see it in the top drawer.
No.
No. Ah well, I can be doing what I thought I was going to be doing. I should have done this before, of course. I should have.
Oh, sorry.
I should have found what I wanted before. Is there only one drawer with punches in? Do you know?
Yeah, just the top drawer.
Seems very scant of punches. They're on the edge.
I know, short of punches.
I know. There's just none. There's not even the 1 inch round or anything.
There's another punch drawer.
I said, was there two
It's
punch
pink.
drawers?
Everything's pink.
Everything's pink.
I don't think it's in there though.
Oh yes, look, there's second drawer. Look. Is there another drawer of punches? I say. No, there's only the one.
I know, but I knew it wouldn't be in there.
There we go. That's the little butterfly punch. You'll see Miss P use this on multiple occasions. So what I might do is just put if I can do it and get it through far enough. I'm just going to take a guess that that's probably in far enough.
Do it upside down.
Well, it can't because the card won't reach.
It will once you get that.
Oh yeah, look, there we go. I'm just going to punch that through. There we go.
Ooh, you got a little purple butterfly as well.
I got a little purple butterfly look there as well, which actually I might utilise and put up somewhere. Maybe coming off the top there, maybe that's quite nice there. So now it sort of reveals pardon? Did you say something?
Yeah.
There we go. And by just cutting that hole through, which adds yet another butterfly, so I've overdone myself, it does reveal that there is a message hidden beneath, so you won't miss it. So you look, ooh, still from a secret admirer. And I think that butterfly looks quite nice up there. I'm going to stick that on there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick that on as well. And that'll be 3 butterflies. Lordy. It's now become a take 8.
Using a butterfly only ticks 1, even if you use it 3 times.
Did you all hear that? Apparently, if you use a butterfly 3 times, you're really allowed to count it once. That's me told, isn't it? There we go. That's added that little butterfly detail at the top. Now look, ooh, who's that from? Ooh, a secret admirer. And there we go. That is my take 5, only a month late, from the 9th of February, which is paper from a pad, paint. Seemed like so long ago since I painted that, doesn't it? Brad, butterfly, times 3, fabric, into form of organza, and there we go. That's it. You can see there that those light colours on that acrylic paint have really dried back. But I think it looks reasonably like a bunch of flowers wrapped up with butterflies and a little card that says, we all know what it says, from a secret admirer, kiss, kiss, kiss. So thank you very much for joining me.
It's lovely.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all the... who we got there? Who's saying it? Ooh, it's so gorgeous. Thank you, Ki-young. And that is as well.
Everybody likes it.
Do they? That's good. I'm pleased that you like it. because, you know, if you didn't, I might not never come back. No, that's not true. I would anyway. Even if you weren't there watching, I'd still come back, because what else am I going to do, to be honest? It's nice to be this side of the camera for a change. Gives Miss P a little break, gives you some entertainment, and maybe distracts you from other things in your life. Well, thank you very much, and a big thank you also to all the people that donated a coffee to Miss P this week. It's greatly appreciated and goes a long way to keeping the show alive. So thank you very much. We'll see you all again soon. I think the next time Miss P is live will be the normal Saturday at 4 p.m. UK time. You'll have to work that out for yourself if you're in different parts of the world. But 4 p.m. UK time, and I've no idea what she's doing. So I'll see you again soon. Take care. Love you lots. Bye.